All right, welcome back to another episode of What's the Sweep. This is episode 8, and today we're going to be talking about pocket passers versus dual threat QBs. What do you lot think about that? Wait, let's start off with what would you two class as a pocket passer?
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Drew Brees.
I'll say like a quarterback that's like slower.
Philip Rivers.
Back and really good.
What was that last bit you said? Not really good.
Me? I said
Yeah.
passing really good, but quite slow.
Okay, so what would you two define as a dual threat QB?
Like a Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson. Like mobile, they could escape the pocket.
Like if they're getting pressured, they can just escape. They have the ability to escape.
So would you say someone like Peyton Manning is a dual threat QB?
No.
I wouldn't. Even though like he does have quite a few like rushing touchdowns, but like they're all from like 1 yard away. Yeah, like
QB sneak.
Yeah, like
but that's not really like rushing.
Dual threat.
Yeah,
because like for example, when you play Lamar Jackson, you have to put QB spy on. When you play Peyton Manning, like no one's gonna spy Peyton Manning. Like
that's what I was going to bring up actually. So I think it was in his final season. I can't remember what team it was where he did the bootleg sweep and ran for a TD untouched for about 5-10 yards, but that was the slowest like TD I think I've ever seen in my life.
He just jogged. Not even. He walked. He didn't even jog.
Yeah, because he's such a terrible. Like they didn't even run against him. So, would you say pocket passes are athletic?
Yeah.
What do you mean in that? Like athletic, as in like they can move mobile?
Yep.
I think some of them.
I don't think you have to be like the fastest player on the field to be classed as like mobile. Like for example, if you're in the NFL, like you might not be as good of an athlete as like Lamar Jackson or like those QBs that we named earlier. But like I think if they had to like do something that requires like an athletic ability, like they'd be able to. It's not like they're like they can't run or they can't do anything. Right?
Yeah.
So I think
like if there was a play like designed for them to run or like get extra 5-7 yards as a run, then I think that'll be more classed as a dual threat. Like they have the ability to do such a thing.
So you lot have seen Tom Brady when he came out of college and went for the NFL draft, like when he did the little wingspan thing and he's just got no chest, no abs, no nothing. And he ran like a 5-something 40, something like ridiculously bad. Do you think that Brady then would beat the Brady now in a race?
Nah, I don't know if you saw the video, but like he ran a 40, I think it was like a couple years ago, and he actually got like 0.1 seconds faster.
Oh my
and then
God.
he was like happy because he beat his combine number.
To be fair, he did it at like what, 41, 42?
Yeah. But
I think now he would be faster anyway.
Because he's kind of like worn out. So for example, like a QB like that, he's not really in situations where he really has to scramble, either because he has a really quick release or like his O-line, because Tom Brady has always played with a like relatively good O-line. So he's never been in a situation where like he literally has to escape the pocket almost every play. So I guess like his quick release is another factor, but then he does have a lot of like good blocking.
So the reason I asked that is because obviously the Tom Brady you had back then and Tom Brady you have now are completely different in terms of athleticism and like work ethic in like the gym and whatever. So do you think that kind of will pay off in terms of, you know, him, he could be a pocket passer and then use that as a way to become a dual threat passer?
Yeah, because obviously he's getting older and he's played in the NFL for a long time, so his body Like obviously he's taking a lot of hits and everything. So like he's probably doing workouts and things that would like help his body sustain hits and stuff, even if he has to run. Like he understands that like, all right, if I do run, I'm gonna be getting hit by people that are probably bigger than me and stuff like that. So like workouts, like work ethic and stuff like that. He's probably been like in the gym doing specific things that would like help him get through the whole season while taking big hits and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think like as he gets older, he needs to do like more work on taking care of his body. And then now between like if you compare Brady and like defense DNs then and like DNs now, I think DNs now are more like dangerous with bigger hits. It's like he needs to be like prepared and things to do to get away from them.
All right, so obviously you have said there's pocket passers, there's quite a few in the league. Do you think with the way the league is set up, it is more attributed to one set of QB? So do you think, obviously it's called a passing league, do you think it's better to have a pocket passer or to have a dual threat QB?
This is like a controversy because when you watch college football, like college teams, they prefer like an athletic quarterback. But then when you get to the NFL, like you don't really see coaches don't really like Lamar Jackson, for example. They kept saying he's a running back, this and that. But in college, like everybody loved him until he got to the NFL and everybody was like, oh, he's a running back. So like I feel like the NFL system, they value passing if you're a quarterback over running and like athletic ability. Like that's just how I think. But like in college, because I prefer athleticism.
Yeah, because I think in the NFL, I think if a quarterback runs, then it's not really like seen like that because anyone can really run. Like you have running backs to run for you, wide receivers to run for you, and plays to make so the quarterback doesn't run. So then that's why I think like running's not really like people don't really look at it in the NFL like that. Like they would prefer pocket passes over dual threats.
Cool. I'll get back to that point. But Vandenson mentioned Lamar Jackson. While he was at Louisville, he got a Heisman Trophy. Do you think that was because of his passing ability or his running ability?
I think it was a bit of both. Because like people like they take his running ability and they start to discredit his throwing ability. That's like the thing with dual threats. Like they see like he'll make a nice throw. Like okay, that's cool. But then he'll have like an 80-yard touchdown run, and people would just be like, okay, like who cares about the throw? He just ran like 80 yards for a touchdown. So I feel like they discredit like his throwing ability and just look at his running ability.
Because I think like if he runs a lot, then he would be like overseen in his passing game. And people will be like, okay, he can make a few passes down the field. Like anyone can really do that. And he just runs a lot. So then that's why they wouldn't really look at his passing ability like Van said.
Just so like in the NFL, he led the league in passing touchdowns. But then he also had a lot of rushing yards. And people still like discredit his passing ability. Yeah,
that's when they call him like a running back.
So we're going to go back to Jonathan's point about obviously you have running backs and so on. Usually when you have a dual threat QB, you will have a different playbook from a pocket passer. So a pocket passer may have a lot of like vertical plays or play actions and stuff like that. While a dual threat will probably have like a triple option or like just a basic option play or even a wildcat play, that kind of thing. Do you think the playbook is critical to the QB, or do you think the QB should be able to adapt no matter what kind of QB they are to the playbook?
I feel like the playbook is very important because for example, if you're playing with Tom Brady, you can't expect them to be running read options, triple options, and things like that all game. But then if you're playing like Lamar Jackson, like you can install those plays into the lineup because you know that he's able to do it. But then if you're playing with Lamar Jackson and you want him to play like a pocket passer and you want him to stay in the pocket, then he might struggle because it's like, all right, he's so used to like escaping and everything. So if you expect him to like sit in the pocket, wait for routes to develop, this and that, this and that. Like it might be strange to him, like almost like, yeah, he can adapt, but like you would prefer to put a pocket passer with a pocket passer playbook and a dual threat with a dual threat playbook.
Yeah, because I think like if you say a quarterback has to adjust to the playbook, then let's say Tom Brady went to Baltimore right now and he has to play with that playbook, and he can't really, like, a pocket passer can't really do a dual threats playbook. So then I think a dual threat could look at a pocket passer's playbook, but it will still be difficult because they're not used to maybe throwing so much or throwing the different type of plays like that.
So you guys already said Tom Brady is a pocket passer, yeah? But if you look at the NFL next gen stats, he's actually the most successful QB, got the most QB sneaks and yards compared to everyone else. Do you think that's because he's a pocket passer, or do you think that's because of his athleticism?
I think it's a little bit of both, because like you got a QB sneak, you're not really expecting Tom Brady to take it. But then if you're going down there with like the lineman and the offensive line and the D lineman, like he knows that he's gonna get hit, so he has to basically be athletic enough to be able to handle the hit. So it's like a little bit of both, because you don't expect Tom Brady to just, even though he's done it many times, like you still don't expect that he's just gonna take the ball and go into the end zone. But you do have to be athletic enough to be able to take the hit.
I think what was that? The Giants game where that quarterback took it like I don't know, 60-something yard, because I think he was just throwing so much. I think pocket passes are like, if they throw so much and they're not targeted, like the DNs wouldn't be like, oh yeah, we have to take him, like a Lamar Jackson, and be like, oh yeah, we have to watch out for him because he's a dual threat. He's only gonna throw, and then if he does take it, he's gonna run a lot because they weren't expecting it.
So obviously, all the head coaches and so on have access to these next game stats, not just us. Saying that, do you think teams should expect it more from like people like Tom Brady to do a QB sneak and stop him?
I feel like that's kind of a hard question, because like when I said earlier, like Tom Brady might, like, all right, he does it a lot, but like you might not expect it. Maybe not because he's a pocket passer, but maybe it's just like the game. Like, yeah, Tom Brady, he can stay in the pocket, he can throw and stuff. But then, like, you never know if he's gonna do a QB sneak or if he's not. Same thing with a dual threat, because I don't think I've seen many dual threats QB do a QB sneak other than like Cam Newton. Like, there's not that many dual threats that do QB sneaks. I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't really see them do QB sneaks.
You
could say that you could expect
for them.
Sorry?
Wentz.
I guess, yeah, that argument, you could say that you could expect a pocket passer to do a QB sneak, because you don't really do a QB sneak if you're like 10 yards down the field. It's usually like maybe 4th and inches, 1st and goal, 4th and goal situations. Like, that's when you'll do a QB sneak.
But I think with a dual threat, it wouldn't really be a QB sneak, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not really sneaky. Like, they kind of expect you to do it. I think with a pocket passer, it's much easier to finish a QB sneak.
All right, so both of you have played QB, right? But both of you have very different styles. How do you know what kind of style QB you are?
I think, to be honest, I can't say I have a style right now, because like I can just throw. I can't run. So I just don't have a style right now. But after my injury is all good, then I could like see what type of style I have. But right now I don't have a style. I just throw.
So what about you, Jonathan?
I think I don't know. I would think created my style because of my athletic ability. Because I think, like, I know I can run, I know I can get out of the pocket if I'm in danger. So then I'll say I'm like a dual threat, because my passing's, I want to say my passing's as great as Vanderson's, but it's not pretty bad. So I'll say like mid-tier or higher than mid-tier, but like I can still get out the pocket and run it. So I think that's why. Yeah, I think it really just develops on your athleticism of how you play.
So would you say, based on what you just said, QB like pocket passes are less athletic than most of the other players on the field then?
Less than other players on the field. I wouldn't
Like
say.
when I think when you say athleticism, you're talking about like agility, speed, acceleration.
Okay, so let me change it a little bit. So because QB, there's only one of them ever on the field. Yeah. Do you think is the QBs have more of a strain on their on mental side of the game instead of physical? Is that why you'll get more pocket passes than dual threat?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like most pocket passers, they're usually like they're very smart players, which is like it's not discrediting like dual threats. Like a dual threat might be as smart as a pocket passer, but like most pocket passers, like for example, like they know if I run this play on that certain defense, like that player is gonna be open. So I'm not gonna have to escape. I just have to let the route develop. So I feel like pocket passers, they're already so used to it that like when they say HUD, like they know the defense. So like I feel like they rely on their throwing ability because like they know that if it's this type of defense, that space of the field is gonna be open, or this space or things like that. And then
yeah, adding on to what Randerson said, I think like pocket passes, they have more like knowledge on the field, not the screen dual threats. But I think like pocket passes think about when they take the snap, they think about, oh, let me run this play. If this is not open, let me run it more. And like if they see pressure, they might wait and just not even really move and just wait and just throw it last second, just to get that throw in. But I think dual threats, they think about more, okay, if I can't get this or I can't get these two passes, I'm running it. Like I'm out of the pocket already because I know pressure is going to be coming and I know I can run out the pocket like that. So I think, adding on to what Anderson said.
I feel like a good example is Baker Mayfield because like I wouldn't like it's hard because I wouldn't class Baker Mayfield as a dual threat, but he can still run it if he has to. So I feel like he's like a good example of like a pocket passer, but if you need him to run it and get a first down, or just if the puck is collapsing, you need him to escape it, like he could do it. So like he's an example of like a pocket passer, but he still can get the job done like on the ground if he has to.
So what would you classify Mahomes as?
Dual threat.
Yeah, I class him as dual threat.
Yeah.
Even though he has a cannon, still dual threat.
So who do you think has the better? Okay, no, let me change it. Who do you think reacts better under pressure? So dual threats, they may run out of the pocket and may try to gain some yards running, while pocket passers most likely are going to try and stay in the pocket, take the hit, and throw the ball.
I feel like it's pocket passers because dual threats, right? They like under pressure. Let's say your receivers aren't open, or maybe like you're anticipating a route too much, and like if you try to scramble or escape, and the defense, like for example, what happened to the Ravens against the Bills, like Lamar, he kept getting a lot of pressure. So whenever he ran, he thought it was like, oh, like it's an easy run, but then the middle linebacker, the spy, picked him up straight away, Trey Edmonds. So Lamar wasn't able to do that much on the ground. So I feel like with a pocket passer, like if they know the defense, they know their routes and everything, and they wait for the routes to develop, I feel like that's more effective than to just run out the pocket to get chased down by like defenders because they're kind of expecting you to run it.
Yeah.
So do you think it's better to tuck the ball and take the hit, or try and throw a pass that may get, slapped down or thrown out of bounds? Well, not out of bounds, thrown into the way of a defender or something.
I think you could still throw the pass because like there's still a chance, like there's a small chance, but there's still a chance of you making that play, or like your receivers being playmakers and getting a play out or getting the ball, even if it's thrown near them, or just throw it out of bounds. because I think you would get more criticism tucking it and then maybe not moving anywhere than throwing the ball, because people will be like, oh, you could have thrown it here, you could have thrown it there. The wide receiver could have done something, but he just ran it and just got no yards.
So who do you think is more exciting to watch on TV? Pocket passers or dual threat QBs?
I feel like, I don't know. That's hard. I like watching both.
You can only choose one.
It's like saying what's more exciting to watch, Brady or Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
True, but like, what am I gonna against the Bills? Like that wasn't exciting to watch. Like,
that was also to do with like the weather and so on. So the elements caused some of that.
The weather. What was it raining?
No, it was like ridiculously windy. So like Justin Tucker, who we talked about in the last pod, like most accurate kicker, he missed his 2 kicks, which is like pretty much unseen by him.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. It hit the thing in it.
Yeah, hit the uprights. I think it hit both uprights twice.
Yeah, it's like top left and then top right.
Yeah, shambles.
I feel like it'd be more exciting to watch like a dual threat, like Mahomes, for example.
So you wouldn't rate Kyler Murray as one to watch because you haven't mentioned him.
Who?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you haven't mentioned him.
Yeah.
Very exciting to watch.
Yeah. No, but I think like Kyler Murray, I'll say like Mahomes and like Baker Mayfield, they're type of examples where like they can throw really well, but they can also escape if they need to.
Yeah.
Cool. Saying that, do you think the league is getting more and more into having more dual threat QBs or QBs who have the potential to become one?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like there are a lot of QBs that are coming in. They're like more dual threats, but then there's QBs that are already in the league that have like potential to become dual threats. Like for example, what's his name?
Herbert.
I was about to say
Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert. Literally,
I still like the way when he tracked who was it? Which linebacker was it? Was it the Rams?
Was it the one when he was like, I was in, and he started shouting that?
Yeah, I thought that was ridiculous. You can't go back to your huddle. You're like, one, he's a rookie. 2, he's a QB. You can't go back to your huddle and then the man I'm gonna get onto you. There's no way.
Yeah, he's like a good example of a QB that is like becoming a dual threat. Like,
he can. Yeah, I think QB should have the ability to become a dual threat. I think if you're a QB and the only thing you can do is pass, and if you're under pressure and you can't get out the pocket, then I think that's really something to improve on.
Another one is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but he doesn't really get the game time.
True. I think he started only 3 games, but in those 3 games, he had 1 game with 100 yards rushing.
What? The guy from the Saints, I can't remember his name now.
Jameis.
No.
Get out of here. Never mention him again. A white guy after
Hill.
Yeah. Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at that. But I only said that because I looked up the last 5 QBs to get entered into the Hall of Fame. So we have Warren Moon, we have Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, Kurt Warner, Ken Stabler. So out of those 5, 2 of those guys are classed as dual threat. So you have Warren Moon and Ken Stabler. So seeing that kind of trend into the Hall of Fame, do you think more of like the NFL and like the public are more accepting to QBs? I'm thinking these guys are serious compared to before, where it's like we only want a pocket passer.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think the league is more acceptable like of pocket passes. I think when Lamar really like showed off, I think he was getting a lot of hate because he was running so much, and I think people don't want dual threats to become more running than passing. I think that's what people don't want to see. No hate on Lamar, but I think people just want still more passing. But if you can run, just run it, but don't prioritize running over passing, because like there's opportunities there to throw the ball. I think people want to see still more throwing because it is a passing game than running everywhere.
So saying that, Warren Moon, he's always been a dual threat QB. He went to, I think it was Washington University, won the Rose Bowl with them, went on to the NFL. Well, he didn't even go to NFL. He didn't get invited to the combine, didn't get any workouts with any teams, so went to the CFL. From the CFL, I think he played about 6 years, and then from there went to the NFL. And I think the first thing he went to was Houston Oilers, which back then were like pretty big, which then moved on to the Texans. So saying that, do you think times have changed where the taboo is dual threats? Those aren't the guys that we want. Where now you've got, so like you lot have mentioned, so you've got Lamar Jackson, Deshaun, Kyler Murray, where these guys are very active on terms of running and so on, and they got entered as really high draft picks.
Yeah, because back then, like, people probably thought that if you have a quarterback that not prefers running over throwing, but if you have a quarterback that tends to run a lot, they probably thought like, oh, this doesn't win games, like he's just running and running. But then if you have a quarterback and you see his stats, like, oh, he's thrown this many touchdowns, this many passing yards, they probably think that's more impressive than running, because they're like, oh, like he's just running, he can't throw. Like, same thing that they do with like some dual threats, like for example Lamar, like they criticize his throwing because of his running.
And just so you know, Warren Moon is also in the Hall of Fame for CFL as well, so it's not like he's ever been rubbish. Because I just remembered he also didn't get, I think he only got 2 offers from Div 1 colleges coming out of a high school. So he's had talent, but the people overlooked him. But this also brings me to another point. So obviously dual threat QBs, that they're running outside of the pocket where they don't have, protection from like the linemen and so on. Do you think those guys will get more injured than pocket passers?
That's tricky to say, because if you think about it,
I don't know. Not really. I feel like you're still like, when you're on the football field, you have the same amount of risk as like if I was to run out the pocket, if I was to stay in the pocket, like it's kind of still the same amount of risk.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like if you're a pocket passer, then you might not see a hit, and then you might just get hit really bad, like maybe Drew Brees. And then, but I think if you're like Lamar, I think you're running out the pocket. I think you're seeing the danger more, like you see what's coming to you and you can like escape it. But I think, yeah, as Vander said, I think just on the field playing the same about.
Like so the same way that you could suffer a non-contact injury, like you could suffer a contact injury.
So I'll come back to your point, Jonathan. But remember, so a QB has a minimum of 5 blockers, so that's the O-line. Pocket passers obviously have them trying to protect them. When you come out of the pocket, you obviously those guys are still around, but they won't be in the same kind of formation to protect you. So saying that, do you think, let's say Lamar Jackson's gone on a run now, you said he can see all the danger that's coming. If he's looking to his left, he can't obviously see what's in his right. Or if he's running forward, he can see everyone that's in front of him, but can't see what's behind him. Do you think that danger increases, or do you think because he's unaware and doesn't brace up for a hit, that helps him?
I mean, you can say the same. That I think, yeah, he's still. If he's saying that, then he might not be faster than the linebacker. Then the linebacker comes behind him, snatches him, and he falls and maybe hurts his shoulder or hand or something, or makes a fumble or something. Then yeah, but you can still say that about pocket passes. Like maybe he's looking to the right side. He's throwing, he's about to get ready to throw, and then like Young comes behind him and just blindsides him. So say both ways, really.
Yeah, I feel like the same, like you might not have as many blockers down the field, but even in the pocket, you're still like in danger, even if you're not like in the open field.
Cool. So we're gonna go back to Jonathan's point about being an open field, being away from danger and so on. Let's say all starting QBs in the NFL are all dual threats now, so they know how to escape the pocket and so on. Do you think so? Left tackles, who are the highest paid person usually after the QB on the team, will get as much money?
What's the question again?
So if all players in the NFL all quarterbacks in the NFL are dual threat QBs where they can escape the pocket really easily. Left tackles, who are usually the highest paid on the team after the QB, do you think they'll be paid as much or be the highest player after the QB?
Yeah, I do. Because what's his name? Lamar's left tackle. I forgot his name.
Is it Ronnie Stanley?
Stanley. Yeah, Stanley. Even though Lamar does run a lot, like they still credit the O-line. Like when Lamar last year, his MVP season, his O-line, they had three players make the Pro Bowl. So I feel like the O-line, they'll still get their credit because I mean they're still doing their job. If the right side collapses and the left side is good enough with the block, like that opens up a hole for a dual threat to take off.
So same the question I just said, do you think we'll ever get to a point where all QBs in the NFL are dual threat?
Nah. I don't think
like 50-50, like dual threats. I don't think so.
Cool. Do you think that's because of the style of the NFL or because of individual QBs themselves not having that kind of style?
No, I think individual. Yeah.
Because like these up and coming drafts, like when you think about it, like most of the QBs taken, they've been dual threats. Like you think of Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray,
Joe Burrow actually,
Herbert, who?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I'd count him as dual threat. Joe Burrow, even Jordan Love, he was taken pretty late in the first round. Like almost all quarterbacks, not all, but like a lot of them coming out of college are considered dual threats now. Because I feel like I said earlier, like college now, they do like they like to play with like athletic quarterbacks that can do both throw and run, like dual threats. So I feel like some QBs, like they may be listed as dual threat coming out of college, but then again, in the NFL, they may switch their style to like a pocket passer. Like Russell Wilson, like when he first got in the league, Russell Wilson was basic. Kyler Murray now was basically a younger Russell Wilson, but like nowadays, you still consider him a dual threat, but he doesn't run nearly as much as he did when he was younger.
Yeah, I think like as Vando said, I think in college, maybe you're not taught more, but like you're put more on the side of becoming a dual threat. Like they like more athletic quarterbacks. So I think even though you may be a really good passer, they still expect you to run a bit or become, say being a playmaker and being athletic or running out of the pocket.
So as we talked about the Hall of Fame earlier, do you think you'll see more and more dual threat QBs get into there, or do you think they'll still be overlooked by the pocket passers?
I feel like more and more will get into it, especially now that the league is, like you said, I don't think it'll ever be 100% dual threat, but like now it's more common and more popular among quarterbacks. So now that like the dual threat like ability is becoming more common, I feel like down the line, like I don't think it's gonna change. Like I don't think it'll go back to just pocket passers, because if you look at the league now, like a lot of starting QBs for their teams are dual threats. So I feel like it's like the popularity, and they're gonna start to basically respect dual threats as much as they respect pocket passes.
Is he saying all the old guys are pocket passers, all the young guys are dual threat?
Yeah. And there's also a stereotype that pocket passers are white and dual threats are black.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to involve race into it.
We'll talk about that on another episode, but we're gonna end this one here. Thank you guys for listening. This has been What's the Sweep. I'm the host, Jonathan. With me today, you have Jonathan Jr. and Vando. We'll see you again next week.
See ya.
See ya.